Hello everyone, this is King and welcome back to my video. Today is going to be a interesting video because it's going to be a discussion and hopefully it's going to be a informative one that will help you better understand collectible materials. And hopefully I am qualified enough to speak on it. If I say anything that is wrong or incorrect, please correct me in the comments below. I don't want to be spreading misinformation. Xenoblade 3 is still a relatively new game, so finding how any of this works is still a complete nightmare. So I'm just doing my best I can to actually spread what I found out, what I learned. So if you know something that I don't, please let me know in the comments below. But today we are going to be discussing a few topics. One will be the significance of collectible icons and their meaning, and the other one would be where and how to get rare collectibles, how you can tell the difference on if a mob drops an item or if it's collected in the overworld or by some other source. And then lastly, my theory on monster material drops. The reasoning for all this information in this video is so you can better deduce how and where to find these needed materials or anything. For example, if it's a material you have no idea where to get, you can at least do or use a what is it called? Reasonable deduction or something like that, or deduct like where it's most likely can be found, because it can be really annoying, like trying to test, like, do I have to kill a bunch of goggles, or do I have to go farm the heck out of the collectibles for the A tier region, or where can I get this, or search on Google. So hang in there and listen to my video and you'll hopefully come out or leave knowing a little bit more. So today's topic is going to be catered towards Collectopedia, okay? Or the purpose of completing the Collectopedia or whatever you wanted to do. I have everything in my quick selection, so you'll only see the menus that you're supposed to see, and any apparent or blatant spoilers will be minimized or negated. But I do want to at least warn that there can be spoilers that you can see without my knowledge, like unintended spoilers, so I do want to warn you. I don't believe there's going to be any, but I do feel like the need to at least give you that warning. So let's do a deep dive on some of the materials that I want to look into today, and the reason why I've decided to make this video. So when you're looking at the item list, you're looking at all these items like, okay, this is easy, until you hit something like this, okay? You see that bag icon that says like the big neat quill, the bag icon that says the Turkin notebook, sea foam soap, firefighting hydrojet. Now some of these items are extremely hard to get if you don't know how to get them, and they're not explained well at all. Like, they're not. So I think I have cracked the case. I believe I know how and where to farm all these items. And you can take a look at my materials. I have everything I need. I have all of the collectibles here. And let's see, I have all of them over here as well. Like, a lot of these materials people are looking for, they're like, how do I get this? Where do I get this? I wasn't like that, okay? Because I made a shit ton of videos on how to farm monster materials. My issue was I had these items and I had no idea where I got them. I was like, I don't know where I got this, but I have plenty of them. I don't know where I got it though. So it was hard for me to help you and everyone else who was looking to get the materials. And right now Xenoblade search has nothing on this stuff. Like, it's impossible to find any information. It's a complete nightmare. So I don't have everything, but I have a lot of stuff, and all the stuff that I deem important. Like, for example, I'm still missing like maybe the Master Spanner or even the Google Bagua, whatever. And I can pretty much tell you, just by looking at the icon and the name of it and knowing what Googles drop, that I know that's going to be a collectible in the overworld, or maybe it's going to be a exclamation icon that Googles drop, and I'm pretty sure that's what that was. So let me explain to you, or let me go over my items. So I'm going to go over to my items and show you what I got. So we're going to look specifically at collectible icons with the bag on them, okay? So we're going to go over the significance of all of these symbols here, and how you can tell if it's something you collect from the overworld or something you collect from a monster or some other source. So I wanted to start from these bag icons first because you can go from the top and work your way down. That way, you know, you can process of elimination. I think that's what I wanted to say. So take a look at these here, and you see how they're icons of the bag, right? Well, a lot of times when you're going to the collectibles, you're looking at, well, it's a bag icon, and this is a bag icon, and the Agnan dog tags are dropped from Agnans after killing them, so therefore it must be a monster drop, right? Wrong. You are wrong. This is what I thought too, but this is what causes most of the confusion when people have to go like kill plenty of Googles or kill plenty of XYZs and never get like the desired results, and then they're like, well, how do I get this? Is this an extremely rare drop? Do I have to kill like 1,000 of these mobs? Like, what's going on? Is this that rare where it's so hard to find? Well, no. So check this out. If it's under the collectible description, this is what's very important, okay guys? Under, like, if you see here, wait, maybe right here. This is a collectible we find in the overworld. It will have a verbiage that says found in X region. So this one is, it's either going to be a special item you get from somewhere or a collectible. In this case, this one's a collectible, just because I know, right? I'll tell you that in a bit. If it says found in any region whatsoever, it is either going to be a collectible or something you get from a supply drop. It's going to be either those two things, okay? It does not drop from a mob. Does not drop from a mob. Because we have the understanding that mobs can be in any region whatsoever. For example, Googles can be found in the Ferronis region, the Pentalus region, and the Condensia region. Those are 3 different regions. That's why when you look at something like the Agishu Needleclaw, that is something dropped from a monster, and it does not have where you can find it because they're in each specific region in a specific location, so they can't really tell you where it is. They can just say, well, here you go, right? So if it has a found in region, you can through the process of elimination, you can find out it's either from a collectible or a supply drop, okay? So now we looked here, these Agnan dog tags, it's a bag. I looked at the collectibles and it says, hey, it's a bag. So is it from a monster? Wrong, because we want to take a look at, let's take a look at one here. Let's go look at our quest here. Okay, let's take the first one we see. Let's go for Heavy Duty Firelighter, All Night Pot, Gungnir Cellyblade, and Mongnir Cellyblade, whatever that thing's called, I don't know. And it's a picture of a bag, right? Well, most of you already probably assumed like all these collectibles are something you can collect in the overworld. You're right, but you probably don't know that the other collectibles are gotten from supply drops. I'll get into that later. I also made a video on my theory on how to farm supply drops and how to force spawn supply drops. I believe I got a good theory, but it's still testing. It's still work in progress. So now we know everything here in the collectible is something you get either from a supply drop or from the overworld. So all these bag icons there, it's something you get from a supply drop, okay? And how you can tell that, it's like, let's take a look at our items, okay? So we're gonna go all the way to where we see a bag. Here's one bag. Here we go. It says found in the Ferronis region. So you're thinking, okay, is it a collectible that I have to find in the overworld in the Ferronis region? No, you're wrong. It's not, because it's a bag, okay? When you're looking at anything that says found in and it's a picture of like anything but a bag, that's something you found in the Ferronis region because it'll literally have an icon of it. Xenoblade 1 did this where they had materials floating in the overworld, but it was just like spheres, right? Xenoblade 3 will actually show you what the spheres look like. It can be either a crystal, a shell, you know, leaves, or maybe a seed, a mushroom, a piece of wood, or something like that. You will see it, right? It's like, it's there, an apple or something like that, right? So now we know that if it's a collectible and it says found in region, it's something you can find in the overworld. So how do I know if it's a supply drop? Well, it has to be a bag. So anything that you know or you see that says found in X region and it's a picture of a bag, that is something you find either in a one-time chest or in supply drops. Like for example, let me see if I can find one. Like for this one, yeah, I have like 2, and I have 2. It's not a lot, but I have a lot of others. Let's check it out. So we're gonna take a look here. Arachno threads is monster, something you get from a monster you can sell. You can see because it doesn't have a found in region. This one is a collectible in overworld because of the symbol itself. If it has a found in region and it's not a bag, it's something you find in the overworld. That's a good rule of thumb. Okay, this doesn't have anything, so you know it's dropped from a monster. Let's see. See, collectible in the overworld, monster drop. And I'm looking for bags, so we're looking for bags. Pictures of bags. Here we go. Black liver bean, found in Pentalus region. It is a collectible, but it's something you get from a supply drop. So this is a supply drop item. Blessed Pepitos, it's monster drop. Let's see. Frog energy, monster drop. So that's how you can tell. It took me forever. I had no idea. I was like running my head ragged. And most of the times when you see the supply drop materials, you're gonna have like one. You know, you're not gonna have a lot of them. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. Claw mark shield. I got 2. It's not that much. More bags. I'm looking for bags here. Here we go. Deluxe swimming kit. I have 1. Let's see. Where can we get the bags? Here we go. Firefighting Hydra. I have 4. Flyer. That's a monster drop. Monster drop. Where is it? Here we go. That's monster drop as well. See, that's like once you know that, that's just so easy. This is something you get from a supply drop. And when they say supply drops, they just mean like a supply drop in the Condensia region. So if it's found, if this is a material that you know it's a collectible you found in the overworld, this is a supply drop because it's a picture of a bag. Now you know you have to go to the Condensia region and get a supply drop in the Condensia region. The next thing is like, how do I spawn a supply drop? Well, I made a video on that, at least a theory video. I tested it out and it worked. I still have a few variables I can't really confirm yet. That's why I'm making that video and making it for like an open discussion. Hopefully people can put their input and information, what they discovered in, so we can make a whole piece. But right now, I'm just gonna be going over what these symbols means, where to find them, and then how we can further do a bigger process of elimination. That way you know, for example, sometimes there are collectibles. This is like Gogol. Something Gogol of it's like, oh, it's a monster, right? Like, but I kill so many Gogols and they never drop it, so I'm gonna go into that later, so just bear with me. Where is it? There we go. That's monster drop. Anything else, it's coming from like the overworld guys. Great wing shield, I only got 1, of course. Where we go? Gulkin, seaweed, nope. Monster. Gungnir, Celebrate, I have 5 of them, folks. 5. That's because it comes from a supply drop. That's how I got them. Like, I remember just recently I have a video of me getting 2 what was it, Turkin notebooks? I think that's what it's called. It's called a Turkin notebook. I got 2 of them from a supply drop. So I know, like, I'm 90% sure this is where you guys get them. There's still a 10% sure I'm not right, but again, this is just my theory, and I'm pretty spot on about these things. But I'm not perfect. That's why I'm leaving the floor open for criticism. So I got 9 of this. I have a ton because I did videos of farming for monsters materials, so all I did was comb each region. I killed every single species of monsters to get all the materials. I know exactly what all monsters drop, or at least I can find out the information, and I know like the algorithm to like how much they drop, the different type of materials they drop, what species drops them, like who can drop them, what can they all get. I did like extensive research on this, so I know for a fact when you see something that says like Gogol something, I'm like, I know Gogols don't drop that. So when you kill them, I know they don't drop that. Therefore, it must be XYZ, right? That you can just do process elimination is the best thing since sliced bread and peanut butter. So I'm gonna continue going. Let's see. See, monster drop. This is also a monster drop here because of cannot be found in region. Here we go. Ironclad. This is a supply drop. Monster drops. Monster drops. I have a lot of stuff. The heck? Okay, monster drops. Is that a bag? Okay, here we go. I even have that. I only have one though. I guess it's like the rare version. I don't know. But when you see stuff like that, it's supply drops in that region. So when it says found in that region, it's not found in the overworld. It's found in that region if a supply drop hits it. So it's like getting a supply drop in itself is like stupid difficult. I think there's a method to it, like an algorithm it uses. So you go check out that video. I'll have it linked in the description. Let's see, that's monster drop. Do I have everything by name? Let me just go to G then. Can I just go? Did I miss G? No. Where is it? Nope, monster drop. What? There we go, got like 2 of that. Where is it? I think I passed it. Maybe? I'm not focused right now. I don't know. Yeah, so like all this, collectibles. It's gonna be supply drops. It's supply drops. 100%. 100%. Where is the rest? Turkey Notebook, here we go. So the most recent collectible to my edition was Turkey Notebook, and I got 2 of them from the supply drop in the ATA region. It was which region was it? It was the lower level. Was it? It was, I think I have it. Let me see if I can. I wrote it down. 1 second, folks. I'm going to tell you in just a moment. But it was a ATA region. It was ATA, the full region. It was south of Cooley Lake, all the way down at the edge. Okay, so yeah, I know where it's at. It's at Cooley Lake. Go all the way down to the end of the lake, and there's a supply drop there. I will also link all the supply drop locations I have found so far and reconfirm that they are actually supply points. But that's a different topic for a different video, so we're not really going to go into that. I wanted to go to the G's. Here we go. So, Goggles, they only drop 2 things. Like it's like Goggle Snack, preserved Goggle Snack, and treasured Goggle Liquor. So if you see something else that's like Goggle something else, they don't. No amount of Goggles you kill will drop that thing, right? So it's either going to be something you collect in the overworld, or it's going to be something an action item that the Goggles do. Like if you see a Kramit or an Armu or Ardoon, like when they do a exclamation mark, right, or a Bunnet, when they do an exclamation mark, a red exclamation mark, and they do like an action and they drop items like the All-Tails, the like all these animals. That's probably what that was. So if you see something like that, like for example, if I go to, where's my G's? I'm just gonna go to G. Was it? Yeah, it's G. Here we go. So where's GG? Here we go. So you see Goggle, Rich Ammonia, Goggle, Commences or whatever, and Ambute. It's a picture of a fruit, right? So now we know that's something you get from the overworld as well. So you can, your 2, what is it called? I just said it. Like, why can't I remember? But process of elimination, thank the maker. Process of elimination. So through like process of elimination, you know, Goggles drop these 2 items, right? So it can either be a different species of Goggles, and like if you know all the Goggles in the map, you're like, well, there's no other species of Goggles, it's just one, and they only drop those 2 items. So where can I find this Goggle item here? Well, it says a found in region, so it probably isn't a monster drop, but it has the Goggle name in it. Well, so what if I go look at Googles? And then you find out that Googles have those red exclamation marks, right? And you finally get it, and you're like, oh, it's a Gogol Kamisora, right? Now your next question is, well, are they only going to drop Kamisoras? I don't need Kamisoras, I need the Ambutes. Are they going to give me Ambutes and Richimonias? And let's say you go to the Googles in the I think it's the Forest region, like the level 41 Googles in the Forest region, and you keep killing it, or you don't kill them, but you keep watching them, you keep watching them and you watch them, and they keep only dropping Googles Kamisoras. Like, okay, well, now the process is, well, it's either a Gogol from a different region, right? Well, you see right there, it's only the Gogols in the Pentless region that drops this particular mob. Like, okay, well, over this, oh, you gotta go to the Forest region, so there must be Gogols in the Forest region. Over here, oh, it must be a Gogol in the Condensia region, right? So you keep doing that until you get the desired materials you want. So at least now you know it's a collectible. It drops from Googles, but not from killing them, it's from like them eating stuff, right? Then you come to the next point, like, well, there's only maybe 3 different types of Googles, or there's only 3 regions I know where I can find Googles. So what's the deal? But there's like 12 Gogol, prefixes of these overworld materials, like where can I get them? The next bit is like, okay, is it a weather issue? Is it a daytime issue? Is it because they only spawn at night? Is it something that Gogol spawn at daytime, nighttime? Is it something that they only show up in stormy weather? Like, that's the type of process elimination that just gets so hairy and annoying. But just the fact that this is something you get from a Gogol when they do that action item is a lot better than killing hundreds of Gogols to figure that out, So that's one bit. I think I explained everything here. Let's see. Yep, I believe so. So we went over the significance of the icons, like what these little symbols means. If it's not a bag and it says found in, it's something you find in the overworld. If it's a bag and it says found in, it's something you find in a supply drop. If it's blank, it's a monster drop. There you go. And if you killed plenty of that monsters, or you can just Google my playlist and search what the material is here, and it will show you. I'll show you where. I'll have a video on like how to get it from what monster. I'm making all these videos on that, so hopefully that's helpful. Then you can find it there, and if I don't have a video on that, it probably means that it's a collectible, or something that particular monster drops only whenever they do like a special, like the red exclamation mark. And sometimes this is hard too, because you don't know. Like, for example, the Autils, they will do an action item where they beat a shell on their chest and they drop all random items, and you just don't, there's no way, it doesn't say Autils toy or something like that, so you can't really know it drops from Autils. So I think Gogols are the only one that's kind of like has their name in them. I haven't made videos of that yet. I think that's like a different monster I'm gonna tackle later. That's just too complex for me right now. I'm not gonna do that. I'm already too busy with like the monster material drops. So now for the last bit is my theory on monster drop materials. So I'm gonna explain you my theory, and then I'm gonna be done for today. Okay, I know I went over a lot, but like I said, there's not a lot of information on YouTube or even Google, so hopefully this has been helpful. I know it's been long-winded. I'll probably have timestamps on the conversation topics. Hopefully that's helpful to you, or maybe just a brief summary in the description. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. But before you go, I want to discuss one last topic. It's my theory on monster material drops. Okay, so from my extensive knowledge of fighting monsters and going all over the regions, all the way up to chapter 7, I don't know anything past chapter 7, mind you, okay, is that a monster can only drop 2 types of materials. They only drop 2 types. So if Gogols drop, or Arachnos or whatever drop, let's say, what is this? Gold Arachno Queen Silk and gold or Arachno Egg, right? So if the Arachnos drop only those 2 types, and it's like this cute little Arachno that has one little horn and it has like one tiny tail, right? Then the item says you need a queen arachno or a gold arachno queen silk or something else that says arachno, but it doesn't have a found in region. You're like, well, it definitely comes from an arachno, but I've killed arachnos before and they don't drop that. So my theory is it's a different species of arachno. By my definition of species, it's character, monster, design. So when I emphasize like it had one horn, it had one tail, that means there's a different type of arachno walking around there with like maybe 2 horns and 2 tails. It looks physically, like design wise, it looks different. But if it's an arachno with 1 horn, 1 tail, and it's blue, it doesn't matter. If it has a prefix different, like, you know, syllabus arachno or techno arachno, they all drop the same thing as long as they have the word arachno in their name and they look the same in terms of character, monster, design. They can be bigger, smaller, different color, it does not matter. They drop the same thing. But if they look different in terms of like design, they drop different things. Like I know there's a spider that has like really lanky legs and it's huge and has like a big body. That drops different things than the queen arachnos. And then the queen arachnos, they have two little horns in front of their face and then 2 big little bottoms. That's like separate bottoms. It's like the adult version of the arachnos, but the character design looks different. But they have arachno in their name, right? But the species aren't the same. So that's how you know they drop different things. The second point is Armus, right? So Armus and Ardunes. Armus are the adolescents of Ardunes. They're the baby form. The adult form is Ardunes, right? But they all drop different materials. But they have this different last name, so it still applies. You know, like Ardunes drop only specifically 2 different things, and it has to look like that character design, monster design. Ardunes, they have a different last name anyway, so you already know it drops something different. Same thing when it comes down to like Kramit and Crabbles and Kramits. They have different last names and they have a different character designs. I think the Arachnos are one of the few monsters that have the same last names but different character designs. So as long so my theory, it has to meet all of these specifications, right? It doesn't matter what level, doesn't matter what level the monster is. It can be whatever level you want, it can be whatever region you find it in, but it has to have the same, either the same last name or the same character design, monster design. So unique monsters, they have their own special names, so it does not meet, or it has to meet, like I would say, like if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 variables, it needs to at least meet 4/5 of it. Okay, so it can have like, if for the last names and then character design, it has to have one of the other. I think that's a better way of saying it. Okay, it either has to have one or the other. It either has to look the same or have to have the same last names. The Arachnos are different in that case. They have to have they're the same character design, and it didn't. So there's that. I feel like I'm confusing you guys at the point, but it makes sense to me in my head. So hopefully that makes sense to you too. Like Ardunes and Carmus. Carmus are the adolescents. Ardunes are the adult versions, but they drop different things because they have different last names. Arachnos have the same names as Queen Arachnos, but they drop different things because the character design looks different, even though they have the same last names. Therefore, they must be a different species or something like that, even though they have the same Arachnos in their name, right? Prefix does not matter. Like I said, it can be gold Arachno, blue Arachno, green, purple Arachno. They all drop the same thing. Size does not matter. Color does not matter. Tier does not matter. It can be a trash mob, it can be elite mob, it can be a unique mob. The only thing different about the unique mobs is they have their own unique names, but as long as they're the same species, meaning that they have the same character design, monster design, they will still drop the same type of materials. For the rate, I'm pretty sure it's different for trash, elite, and for EM and UM, but honestly, if you don't want to go through the hassle, you can just kill a bunch of trash mobs until you get the desired material, or go to unique monster tombstones and farm the heck out of them until you get what you need anyways, because you can like probably burst them down, right? But that's it, folks. Like that's everything. Hopefully that has been helpful and informative. I had a lot to talk about and a few segues and a few tangents, so I apologize about that. But I feel like that was very valuable and some information that was severely lacking in the Google searches right now in this current time. Xenoblade is a new game, so I understand, but I know if I ever wanted to do a playthrough, I would think to myself, where do I find this? Or what is this again? Like, it took me a lot of speculations and researching and testing just to figure this out. If you guys know anything else that I don't, or you have other theories, please let me know in the comments below. I would like to hear them. But that's gonna be it for this. That's gonna be it for today's video, folks. Let me know what other Xenoblade 3 videos you are interested in seeing, and be sure to follow me for other Xenoblade 3 content I do post daily. And I'll see you all in the next one.